there is increasing cynicism against the three pillars of democracy. While the anger against the legislature and executive is more intense, but we now find that increasingly the judiciary is also coming under attack. So till the 70s, there was a time when the judges were considered almost as demigods. Their integrity and reputation was beyond question. But unfortunately, the judiciary refused to stand up to the emergency and Mrs. Indira Gandhi. Thereafter, we saw the concept of committed judiciary as against independent judiciary. And we all remember the role of a particular law minister who was pivotal in bringing the kind of people to judiciary who should not have been there. Cronies were brought in, people of less than high integrity were brought in, and that is when the courts decided to step in the early 90s. Sir, today what we are witnessing is a huge backlog of cases in the country, which is increasingly criminalizing our society. Yet, the backlog of judges is not filled up. So obviously, this calls for some kind of change, and I think the collegium system, which is not working perfectly, needs some change, which the government is proposing. Sir, there have been allegations of promoting brother judges in the collegium, and the process certainly requires a relook. I will only here narrate two cases to which I was a witness. In one case, the collegium sent and they recommended the case of a judge, and the file itself spoke, and I'm saying it because my father was a prime minister then. The file said that the particular person was abusive to the family. The file said that there were complaints against him from fellow judges for his behavior. Yet his name was being proposed. When this was brought to the attention of the chief judge then, the file was called back and the name was withdrawn. But more horrific was the case when a chief judge of India had to be appointed. Normally, Mr. Law Minister would support my contention. The name comes to the Prime Minister 1 month before the Chief Judge has to retire. In that case, the name was withheld and it came only 10 days before the Chief Judge was to retire. The Prime Minister looked at the file. There was unanimity on the recommendation. The senior-most judge was being appointed, and the file was sent to the President. 3 or 4 days later, the Chief Judge calls the Prime Minister and says there are allegations of corruption against this gentleman. The then Prime Minister asked him, why did you send this name if there were allegations? He said, my hands were tied. My fellow brothers wanted the name to be sent, so I've sent the name. And the said gentleman against whom there were allegations of corruption was promoted as the Chief Justice of India. I am narrating these instances just to show that the collegium system has not worked perfectly, and there is time, and it is time now that we bring a change. I will only take half a minute, sir. I welcome the clause regarding the women being represented on GISC, because that will ensure that the existing boys' club is broken up. And I also hope that this will address the increasing cases of sexual harassment in the judiciary. Thank you very much.